Good morning.
Good morning.
I love that picture. Loving hearts, open minds, or giving hands. Generosity. Yes. My reasons for pledging, I'm going to sum them up here and then give you a little bit back onto it. First of all, shelter from the storm of racism. Our UU principles, and knowing that we are here together to live by them. A sense of belonging, the support for my spiritual growth, a place where Leon and I and my spiritual search for found a common ground. Is the place we come together and we basically do the same thing, even so we go our separate ways and under other times. A place where I can teach yoga back there. And also an appreciation, and it is a paying back for me too, an appreciation for those who have supported this fellowship financially with their talents, their gifts of serving, and their generosity. There are so many of you here who've been here when I wasn't. I had my own spiritual quest and I didn't trust it. And I love that picture with the tree, and look, it's become a symbol for me to trust. Here. But here a little story about myself, and I apologize, it's going to be maybe a minute longer than I was allotted. 22 years ago, our children came home wanting to go to vacation Bible school with their neighborhood friends in suburban Dayton, Ohio. Leon and I became alerted. Both of us had been unchurched for a few years, and we felt that we did not want our children exposed to stuff that we didn't believe in. We checked out a book from the library about various denominations in the US and found UU was a good fit for us. All the way down to the U. Our first Sunday that we attended First Unitarian Church in Dayton happened to be their Sunday of Restoration, which turned out to be a cleanup Sunday. We both ended up cleaning the basement where the RE classes were held, religious education classes, and discovered religious education material which turned us on to man the meaning maker, evolution of man, that kind of stuff. Sophia Spas, folks, some of you know her. I did get to meet her. No indoctrination here, no fire and brimstone lessons for our kids, but full of discoveries for them and ourselves. Around that time, the early 70s, the Air Force kept Leon from assignments in the southern US states for fear of problems to our interracial family that our interracial family might encounter. Knowing that made us appreciate the accepting and welcoming UU congregation in the community. With its religious beliefs and the acceptance UU offered us, we found a religious home, a church home we always looked for whenever Leon's tour of duty would take us to another military station. When there was none, we created one with a handful of like-minded others assigned there, like we did in Germany. In our early years as UUs, we had little money, so pledging was not high on our agenda. In order to really belong, we felt that we needed to give our time and talents, which we gladly did, especially with RE. I especially tend to be a penny pincher. In Germany, we have this phrase that says we turn a penny several times before we spend it. My history. When we were able to pledge, Leon did that for our family. He just shared with him, that's what he learned. And Savannah, there's a church where his, is it Bridie, your grandmother, and has a plaque for giving. So it's part of his story, not mine. So he's the giver. But he had gotten involved, as I said, when we were able to pledge Leon did for our family. He had gotten involved on regional and national levels for the UUA, giving liberally of his time and talent as a board member to the UUA and as chair of the Black Concerns Working Group, conducting weekends workshops on dismantling racism all across the country. And since this was dear to my heart myself, and he's more the outgoing person, I felt by supporting him in this work that I made some sort of contribution to UU. Money matters are not my favorites. I was always grateful for those persons who pledged to the congregations and fellowships we belonged. I am especially grateful when our fellowship here came up with the money to build the annex back there for use of the fellowship, for meditation and for yoga. That way I can teach my yoga for over several years now. I became more keenly aware that money is a real need to run a church. When Leo and I first joined our fellowship, we met at the Botanical Garden and at the nursing school on campus, when we had some wonderful and generous and creative members to build our first building on Grady Street downtown. Grateful to them. And now this wonderful building with its generous grounds, thanks to the people. I learned it was about 12 people who were instrumental in having supported this whole group, this church to flourish, while I was on the sidelines enjoying many of the benefits. So yes, it's been a gift for me. Okay, thank you. I'm grateful to Dee, our current president, asking me to join the Congress committee. Someone who has looked the other way when it came to church money matters. Because in Germany I grew up where, we paid church taxes there, and they for the church. I don't know if it's still the case, but I don't know. As a member of the Canvas Committee, I feel I must look at financial realities in the eye and do my part by pledging and hopefully inspire you to do the same. And Leon has agreed to that we are raising our pledge this year. He suggested that we do 10% more. It's doable, yes. UU still is a haven for me. I trust that I find like-minded people here. I have many friends here. Wonderful things happen. I get to discuss my spiritual journey and feel respected for it. Even if it goes a little off at times. It's my yoga. I rely, but I also rely on the persons here that care for each other and for the causes they support. Some of them I'm not so willing to, I'm agreeable, but I'm not a marcher. So thank you for those who support, and a big shout out to all of you who feel that, yes, this is the place for me. Yes, I want to support it. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.